Hey there YouTube, Stealth Talker here with a brand new video. Today I'm going to be going over the differences between the Darth Vader from Battlefront 2 and the Darth Vader from EA's and DICE's Battlefront in 2016. So let's get right into the video. Today we're going to start out with movement mechanics. So as you can see, Darth Vader still does the kind of brisk walk that he does in the new Star Wars Battlefront.
Ignorance of the Force, fatal.
So now let's go over the jump, like how their jumps differ. His jump in Star Wars Battlefront 2 was fairly standard. You know, he just kind of leap into the air like that. It's a lot different from what it is today, though. In today's version, he just kind of propels himself into the air slowly with the Force, shooting himself over objects with that. Another cool thing about the old Darth Vader is that he could double jump. So he could like hold himself in the air with the Force and like levitate, and you could like fly him around for a short period of time. It's kind of cool, and you could extend this by doing it multiple times. So now let's go over their sprints. The old Darth Vader had the fastest sprint in the game. It was a Force-propelled sprint, but he also had the lowest stamina in the game. So it would kind of even out because people would be able to sprint slower but for a longer period of time, so they would cover the same amount of ground. Vader's today is just a regular sprint, but it's also one of the slowest in the game. He just kind of runs. He doesn't really use the Force to help him out there. We can go over their attacks now that we got all the movement mechanics covered. Darth Vader in the original one had like a 3-hit lightsaber combo that the first two would deal kind of moderate damage, and the last one, the last strike, would deal major damage and was able to kill most people that you would encounter in the game, like most enemies that you would encounter in the game. It's a pretty solid deal. Now in the new one, he basically is just a single swipe and it kills instantly. Now we can go over Force powers. We'll start with the saber throw. The saber throw on the old one was pretty awesome. You would use your stamina bar in the bottom left, which would also go down with sprints and combat rolls and Force and like other Force powers. But basically what you would do is he would throw it out and it could go through multiple enemies, and then it would also hit them when it came back if it came through another guy when it came back. So it did a ton of damage. It would kill most units instantly, except for heroes, like obviously on here, or Wookiees or something like that. But it basically just does a ton of damage, and it hits going out and coming back, unlike Darth Vader's in the new one. Now when the new one's compared to the old one, in the old one the saber throw would keep going if it hit a person, and it would keep going until it hit its max range. If it hit a wall, it would come back. In the new one, if it hits anything, wall or person, it comes back immediately. And it doesn't hit on the way back either, it just comes straight back to your hand. So you can't hit going out and coming back. But it does have the potential to kill multiple people. They just have to be all, like, it has to be grouped together, or like just directly in the point of impact. To be honest, I am very glad they made this change. If Darth's saber throw was the same way it was in Battlefront 2, that would just be unreal, and it would be way too good for this multiplayer game. We can move on to the choke. The choke in the old one would do very little damage very rapidly. You would stand there and you would have to focus on one person at a time to use it, which didn't really make it great for really anything. Except for like one-on-ones or something. That's when it worked really well, because it would stun enemies, and you could just kind of stand there and choke them, and then you could hit them afterwards. So it was pretty nice. It would also use your stamina bar, and it did a lot more damage to regular troopers than it did to heroes. Now in the new one, his choke still stuns heroes, but it doesn't do as much damage as it did in the old one. It does about 10 damage. And when you choke regular people, it allows you to focus on other things. So you don't have to stand there and focus on choking one guy at a time. And what it does in this game is it does a lot more damage slowly. So it does like 55 damage, I think now, per second or something like that, versus like doing little microchips or like just draining it. And the cool thing about it is it allows you to focus on doing other things like blocking once you choke someone, because you don't have to focus on them. And it makes it pretty awesome. Like I love that change. It allows the choke to be a lot better than it would otherwise be if they kept it the same from Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Now you understand. Dark side.
So now let's talk about the heavy strike. In the old game, dueling mechanics were different, so there was not a heavy strike available. But what they did have was a sprint attack, a very, very powerful sprint attack, and a very powerful jump attack that you could use with every Jedi character that there was. Darths were very high damage, but you had to be very accurate with them. There were other ones that were a lot more flowing, like Darth Maul's and Anakin Skywalker's, which, I mean, he's Darth Vader in Mustafar, so, I mean, you could use his, and his was a lot more flowing and just very easy to hit with. But Darths, you have to be very accurate, but they're very, very powerful, and that's what takes the place of the heavy strike in the old game. So now we can talk about kind of the miscellaneous other things that are different or similar between the two heroes. In terms of health, Darth Vader in the new Battlefront has about double the health of every other hero. And that's the same as it is in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Well, actually he has a little more. In Star Wars Battlefront 2 he has about 1.5 times the health of any other hero or kind of villain type deal. Their blocks are about the same. In the new Battlefront, Darth Vader can block for, I think, around 8 to 10 seconds, I believe is what it is. I can't remember if it's 8 and I can't remember if it's 10, but it's one of those, it's like somewhere around there. And it has a certain amount of time, which is pretty much the same for the other one. The other one, he blocks a little longer, but he uses his stamina bar instead. And they both do the exact same thing, so they're fairly standard there. So basically Darth Vader only has a couple other differences. They're mostly like atmospheric or like cinematic differences. When he shows up in the old games, he said, like when he joins the fight, he says a couple, he has a couple different like entrance phrases. Like in this game he just has the one, you know, they will know the power of the dark side, and then he ignites his lightsaber. In the old one he'll say like, he'd say a couple different things. And also too, it plays an epic theme song when he joins the battle. It's pretty cool. I'll show it to you right now.
Watch those blasters! We've got 'em on the run! Hey, watch it! We've captured a command post. Get the forces! Imperial officer, take him out! A command post for the Empire. Their reinforcements are dwindling.
What is thy bidding, my master?
So as you can see, the old ones' voices are kind of different too. I think they use the actual actors from the movies to make their comment, like what they say in the game, as compared to the new ones where they got different voice actors for like Darth Vader. I know he sounds good, but he doesn't sound like, you know, an exact movie accurate, same exact sound, you know. It's just a little different.
Hostile reinforcement count is diminishing.
Anakin Skywalker, reporting for duty.
So that's all the differences I have for you today between Battlefront 2's Darth Vader and the new Darth Vader from the new Battlefront. Thanks for watching. If you want to see any more, like another video like this with Han Solo or all the other heroes and villains or something, let me know. I'll be happy to make some more. I think I'll make it into kind of like a series, kind of like just do all the other heroes as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is Stealth Taco signing off.